Good afternoon. I thought I'd come on and give you a sort of a heads up on how to do the responses that I'm going to have you have due on April the 4th. So the sheet we're going to use is the one that's on my screen right now. It's called Task Force Foundation of Data Chat Presentation. The two forms you're going to be using to fill out this is the blueprint from our third grade STAR test, which we all took, and the third grade math item analysis sheet. So on this particular sheet, you're going to be asked some questions. The first set of questions has to do with that item analysis, or I'm sorry, has to do with the blueprint. So let's take a look at the blueprint first. The blueprint is fairly easy to decipher. Basically, the blueprint has the reporting categories, which remember are those big, broad umbrellas that STAR uses to group their TEKS together according to either readiness standards or supporting standards. So in the third grade math test, we can see that there were a total of 32 questions. And of those 32 questions, 8 were in reporting category 1, 13 were in reporting category 2, 7 were in reporting category 3, and 4 were in reporting category 4. So you can tell that it's pretty evenly divided, though a majority of the test, or a little over half, is in this reporting category 2, which is computations and algebraic relationships, which for third grade is quite a challenge. So let's go back. Now what we've got is that's how you're going to answer the questions here, is you're going to look at that blueprint and fill it in with exactly what we just said. But that really doesn't do us any good as teachers unless we can look at the item analysis and really get some information that we're going to need in order to create effective lessons. So let's look at the next step. The next step is working with the item analysis form. So once again, let's click over to item analysis. Over here with the item analysis area, you're going to see again that the questions are individually listed and then they are color-coded. They're color-coded as to what percentage of students got them correct. So for example, on question number 1, 94% of the students answered it correctly. Okay, not bad, pretty good. But look down at number 5. Number 5, there was only, 69% of the students that answered it correctly. So that would be a skill that I would definitely have to reteach. And let's take a look at it. Number 5 that they got completely messed up on is in reporting category 2. And also the one that they got 95% on is in category 2. But take a look. One of them, the one they aced, so to speak, had to do with representing a two-digit or two-step problems in addition, and it was addition of whole numbers. Whereas if you look at the one where they did it incorrectly, it was to solve one-step and two-step problems involving multiplication and division within 100 using strategies based on objects. So once again, they'd have to know what the objects were, the manipulatives, where they placed the process, and so this could be much more difficult for a third grade student. The orange indicates that 70 to 79% area that students got the question correct. So that's the area that sometimes teachers refer to as the bubble kids or the gray kids. It means that those questions between 70 and 79% are questions that could sway the test either way. Whether if you do a little bit more reinforcement and support, you might have more students that get in the yellow or the higher range. Whereas if they are further confused, it drops into the lower. So a lot of emphasis is also placed on the orange. All right, so what does all this mean? Let's go back to our paper. And what we're being asked to do, and this is kind of the tedious part of it, is we're being asked to look at each reporting category and actually tally the number of questions that fall into each of these 3 areas. So for example, let me look at reporting, and this is reporting category number 1. So if we head back over, I'll look and let's see. This is reporting category 2 right here. So I don't need to look at that question. The number 2 is a reporting category 1, and it fell in the yellow range. 80% of the students got this particular question right. So I'm going to go back over, and on my category 1, I'm going to actually put a tally mark right here to make sure that I remember that I have one question that has a yellow code at the moment. Okay, let's flip back. I'll flip back over. Look at question number 3. It's yellow, but it's category 3. Don't count it. Category 4, category 2. Oh, here's another category 1. And this category 1 is also yellow. So flip back over. I'm going to put another tally mark here so that I remember that I have 2 questions in category 1 that are yellow. Okay, I'm sure you're getting the idea now. So I'm going to flip back over, and I have category. The next question is category 2, category 3, category 2. Don't need to worry about those on this line, okay? Another category 1, and you guessed it, is yellow, so we go back, and we're going to put another tally mark in the yellow. So as I keep doing this over and over, then let me see if I can get it real quick. Here is and I made a mistake. That was a category 4. See how confusing it can get? That was category 4. So I can't do it. I have to take that one off and put an orange one on. See why you have to check yourself. So that goes off. That goes on. And not the 2. Okay. So we keep moving. Category 2, category 1, that's an orange. So on this page, I have an orange and another orange. So I have 2 oranges on this page. Flip back over. 1, 2. Over. Next page. You get the idea. All right. Watch me because I obviously can make mistakes. So 3, 2. Okay, 1. There's a red. And that's it on that page. So I go over here and I mark the red. Go back. Almost done. Aren't you glad this only has 4 pages? And then go back here. We've got 1 is an orange and a yellow. Correct? If anybody caught me, email me. An orange and a yellow. So I'm going to click back here. Orange. Click back here. Yellow. All right. I need to check and make sure that I've done it correctly and I'm on task. So right here I have 8 questions in reporting category 1. So if I check back over on my reporting categories, there you go. There are 8 questions on the blueprint. We're correct. So you want to do that for each category. I know that's going to just excite you and you can't stand it, but there's a reason for it. Okay, so go ahead and complete that. Once that is completed, you're going to have this chart completely filled out, and you'll have it filled out according to the reporting categories. It might help. I don't know. Sometimes this makes it easier for me because in the next step we're going to need it. So 3. I'm going to put 4, and I'm going to put 1. Okay, so now I know I have that, because in the next section, here's what you're going to do. Now here is where we have, again, just the total numbers, but that really doesn't help us as a teacher until we get the percentages. So now we're going to take a look over here and we're going to find out the number of percentages that each category has. So if I go right here, I'm again only looking at category 1. So in category 1, the total number of questions was 8. So I'll remember that. I'm going to put it right here. You can put it anywhere you want to, just so it helps. All right. So if I go back one more time, so it's not to confuse you, to my, sorry. All right. So now I want to figure out percentages. So here we go. In my number one, in the red, I had one question out of 8 total. So that means I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put 1 out of 8. And because I can't do math in my head, I use my trusty calculator that's always on my phone. And thank goodness it is, because all my math people I'm so jealous of. Okay, so if I go 1/8 is 12.5%. So you can round anything above 5. So that's going to give me 13%. If it were right, correct. Well, okay. Professor error. All right. Same thing on the orange. Now I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to see, okay, I have 4 questions out of 8. So obviously 4 questions out of 8 is going to give me 50%. And on my last one, I'm going to have 3 questions out of 8. 3 out of 8, and you think I could do that, but of course I cannot. So we'll make sure I get it right. And so now 3 out of 8, check myself, yes, 37.5. I'm gonna go ahead and put 38. So now I'm gonna check and see how close I got. 50 plus 38 is 88, plus 13 is 101. If I hadn't rounded, I would have been fine. So as long as your total comes out to be close enough to 100%, you're correct. So let's recap. What I need you to do is I need you to, first of all, go through each recording category and simply count the number of questions in each. Remember, you look in the question itself to find which reporting category it is. And you can see right here, that's where it's shown. Then you're going to simply just count them on the first chart. Second chart, you're going to move horizontally. So you're going to take the number of red questions over the total, and that gives you the percent. The number of orange questions over the total gives you that percent, and you're going to continue to figure that out as you go along. Once these two are complete, then what you need to do is just sort of answer the question for me. This is a question that I'm just interested in. There's a reason, but later. And finally, I want you to go back and take a look at the recording categories and then go back to the test. Look at the percentage. Which category did students score the worst in? Which did they score the best? And you're going to simply go down and find some questions that apply to that. So I hope this helps. If you need anything, let me know. But that's our first dealing with third grade STAR data. Thanks a lot.